everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. So, this video, I kind of touched on this topic before. However, this is something that I've been seeing really far too often, and I'm not super happy with it. So, on this video, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail. Let's talk about this. Do not buy a firearm simply because it just feels good in your hand when you're holding it. There are several reasons why you shouldn't do that, but I'm going to help, I'm going to give you some ways to avoid that mistake, all right? Because while this video isn't going to be very long, it is going to be pretty helpful, especially if you are the type of person to just make an impulsive buy. So let's get right into it. And I've seen this several times, even with people in my own family. When you hold a gun, yes, it is important that the gun does feel somewhat good while you're holding it. Let me start with that. I don't want, you to hold it and be like, oh, wow, this thing sucks to hold. It feels like, a sledgehammer. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting anything like that. I'm not saying anything along those lines. Excuse me. What I am saying is that you shouldn't solely go just for that aspect. One reason why is because you might have smaller hands. Some people don't like to admit it, but the truth of the matter is we all don't have the same size hands. That's the truth of the matter here. Mine are, I don't even know how you would describe them. Some people call them large hands. Some people call them small hands. I don't know. But my point is that you can usually tell if you have smaller hands or not. And, I don't have smaller hands. This is why, I don't really classify it as whether I have big hands or normal size hands. My point is simply that not everybody's hand size is the same. Therefore, not every gun is going to feel the same in everybody's hand. The truth of the matter is that while a gun might feel good in your hand, let's say you have extremely small hands, a smaller gun is definitely going to feel better in your hands. That's the truth of the matter here. Holding a smaller gun will feel better in your hands because you'll be able to get a better grip around it. It's not going to be too big for your hands. Yes, it will feel better while you're holding it. But will it feel better while you're shooting it? This is something not a lot of people tend to think about when it comes to something like this, is that the smaller the gun is, no matter how you want to look at it, the smaller the gun is, the snappier the recoil is going to be. Truth be told, my least favorite gun I own that I shoot is my Ruger LCP. It is my least favorite gun that I shoot. Or excuse me, back in English. Sorry guys, it's been one of those mornings. It is my least favorite gun to shoot that I own. There we are. Much better. But my whole point is simply that while a gun might feel good in your hands, especially if you have smaller hands, a smaller gun is going to feel good in your hands. That doesn't mean it's going to be the best for you to shoot. Truth be told, the easiest guns, to shoot, generally speaking, are either going to be the size of like a Glock 19 or a more full-size firearm. Why is that? Is because the weight of it will help balance out the recoil. Not to mention, you get a higher capacity out of it. Overall, they just tend to be easier to shoot. Now, another aspect that not a lot of people tend to think about too is if you buy this gun solely because of the fact that it feels good while you're holding it, and you don't do any research on it, you don't know how it shoots, and then when you do decide to take it shooting and you don't like it, what are you going to be left with? You're going to be left with what's called buyer's remorse. So then you're going to be sitting there trying to find somebody to buy your gun. Hopefully you can. You more likely than not will be able to, but you'll never be able to get the same price that you paid for it unless you found somebody who knows nothing about guns to buy it. But the whole point is simply that buyer's remorse sucks. Buyer's remorse is one of the worst things that a gun owner really wants to deal with, or doesn't want to deal with, excuse me. My whole point is simply, it's just not worth it. You need to do your own research when it comes to buying a firearm. Don't sit there and just go window shopping and then, feeling around for a gun. You know what? This feels really good in my hand as I hold it. That's never going to, get you, that's never going to get you right. You know what I mean? It's always going to be a problem. You're always going to feel some sense of buyer's remorse because there's a good chance that you either aren't going to like how it shoots or even if you do like it, chances are you're going to end up getting one that you feel the same way about, just is going to be a bit different. So it's not buyer's remorse. You're just adding now to a collection, which is a positive thing. So there can be some positive notes out of it. I'm not saying don't sit there and take into account whether the gun feels good in your hand while I'm holding it. My entire point that I'm simply getting at is that if that is the only reason why you are buying that particular gun, you are truthfully doing a disservice to yourself. At least do the research on the firearm beforehand. At least make sure that it's reliable. At least make sure that, it's not one of the most annoying guns to shoot on the planet. The overall point I'm getting at is just have more behind your buying decision than just, oh, it feels good while I'm holding it. If that's the only reason why you buy it, you're just going to screw yourself over. I think that about wraps it up for this video. I don't want to keep going in circles. I knew this was going to be a shorter video too. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you understand that the chances of you getting a really good buy out of a gun solely because it just feels good in your hand while you hold it, you're not, it's not going to happen. The chances are extremely low, and truth be told, there's a great, excuse me, I can English. There's a great chance that you're doing yourself a disservice. If you agree with me, make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.